Good morning. Heading to breakfast.
Breakfast Chronicles.
Breakfast Chronicles. I like
Jason
that.
and Amber. Because we like breakfast dates. So I was looking at getting this gray hair out of my, that took a good 5 minutes, but luckily that's gone.
And she got it.
I got it.
Good job, babe. Good job.
I saw an ad yesterday on Instagram. It was a realtor who wrote a book about, I think it's called Micro Team.
Micro teams?
How to have massive success without hiring more agents.
Oh.
And that instantly intrigued me. I might have to get that book. Not because I'm looking to grow one, because I already had one of those. But because that's the message. I don't know the inside of her book content, but that's something that I've been preaching that for years about. Stop hiring a bunch of agents when you aren't ready for agents. People automatically associate teams with being very successful. And I think on both ends, I think we're going to do an entire podcast on this because it's such a big issue in real estate.
It is.
On both ends, like on the lead team member thinking that they're going to have massive success if they just have a big team. And then on the other side, agents thinking if they join a team that they're going to be massively successful.
Right.
And I'm not saying there's not a place for mega teams, but in most cases, when you and I have interviewed and consulted with agents, they're on the team for the wrong reason.
Yeah. Or they started a team for the wrong reason.
Yeah, it has a lot of negatives on both sides, where the team lead started it and they went from being so successful that they needed additional team members, but they started the team wrong or brought people on too fast, and now they're profiting less than they've ever profited. They have all this stress.
They're making less money and they've got way more stress, because it's one thing to be stressed out about your own business and how you're getting leads to pay your bills or feed your family. But when you take on someone, now you have that added stress of them.
They're supporting their family now. Yeah. And so you've got that side of things. And you have the other side of things where people are on teams because they think it's going to make them better. And in reality, a lot of them, again, nothing is a caveat for everything. This isn't a blanket, but in general, we're seeing this a lot. But the agent's like, hey, I'm the one bringing my own leads. None of them are coming from the team. And then I just have to share half of it with them. And I have a split with my broker. Why am I even on in this team?
Well, there's a couple things with that. And I love how, you're so nice. Just every team that I've interviewed, there's some challenges with it. But first, it's even the definition of what a team is. So in my experience, I've done thousands of consultations with realtors and teams. A team is just a couple of agents who are getting together and pulling resources, or a team it's all around one person and everything is under that one person.
But now teams mean so much more than that. Teams could mean anything. It could mean it's a husband and wife. It could mean it's one person with just their mortgage, their stager, that's what I call a micro. That was I didn't use the word micro. I'll give credit to that agent for doing that on her book. But for me, when I said my team, it was me, my stager, my 2 assistants, my transaction coordinator. It's a collection of people. You don't have to have additional agents to have a team. Matter of fact, it is proven time and time again, this isn't just our opinion, that you shouldn't be hiring agents unless you have at least 2 assistants already helping you.
Right.
And so that's I'm intrigued. I need to read that book.
All right, so question. Given your experience, team leader, top agent, extraordinary woman.
Wow. Thanks.
What would you say are the top 3 to 5 mistakes that agents are making with teams? Either an agent joining a team or starting a team. What the top 3 to 5 mistakes?
Well, the biggest one is what we said: starting a team the wrong way.
Okay.
In the wrong order.
But I don't know what that means.
Well, it's what I already said. It's you should have 2 assistants before you even think about bringing on another licensed agent that you're splitting commission with.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is the team lead not having higher standards for who they're bringing onto the team.
Okay.
It's like we hear so many times, well, I can't get them to lead generate. I can't get them to reach out to their sphere. What?
Okay, so on that,
what?
To me,
that just blows my mind.
Okay, so let me go into that. Reminds me of people who complain how their children act when their children are 3 and 5, and I brought up my kids the way my mom brought us up, and
with the chancla?
The chancla. But it was make them. And that's when I would go in to that point and talk to these teams and like, I just can't give them this, then fire them. There was a really interesting phenomena in talking to team leads that didn't lead. They were almost scared or held
You're a
captive
team lead that doesn't lead
by your crew. And speed of the captain, speed of the crew. And if you were lead generating, but you said the words, I can't get them to do this, I can't because they're an independent contractor. You're right. But if they want to be on your team, then they will do this.
Yeah, because either if they won't do it, that's fine. That means they're automatically choosing to not be on your team.
Absolutely.
So while you're right, you can't make an adult do anything. But I like what you just said. It could be that you don't have high enough standards, or it could be that you're not leading. Because if you're not lead generating as the head of the team and leading by example, then why would they do it? And that happens too. So again, there's responsibility on both sides of the equation there. That's let's go into breakfast and then we'll think about it some more. I didn't realize we're Twinkies again today.
We are. However, I can dress first.
I swear people are going to think we like plan these outfits together.
I think you look at me and go, dang, and then you're like, oh, I want to match that.
Or it's that our wardrobe has morphed into each other, and no matter what we pick out, we look like each other.
No, you see my dresses.
Whoa. What? Yeah, that's a no for me.
Nope. Okay, so team mistakes.
Yes.
Team mistakes. I'll probably share one that I saw the most, which was the 50-50. The 50-50 where I would go and consult with the team and we were talking about splits and what they pay and I would ask, well, what is your...
I say 50-50, they don't not doing that anymore.
Well, but when
they're doing like a 70-30 in this scenario, even crazier.
Any percentage though was never what it was. So I'll use the 50-50 because it's the easiest. Well, I do 50-50. Depend on the lead, where it came from, whatever. But most teams, the team lead would say, I do 50-50. I'm like, okay, well, so if I'm on your team, I get 50. Yeah, okay. Well, who pays for the marketing? Oh, well, I do that. Okay, well, who's paying for the transaction?
Who's supplying the leads? Oh, I do.
Oh, well, I do that. And so I would go, okay, and then I would dive into the
for the
cost
sign,
of that,
for the lockbox,
for everything, and it wasn't. So if you're saying, well, we do 50-50 or we do 70-30, but the team lead is still taking on the expenses of X, Y, and Z, then that's not
so
not
you're
accurate.
Netting less money no matter what that split is, right? It's even at 50-50, you're like, yeah, but I'm getting 50%. Yeah, but you supplied the lead. You're paying for all the expenses. So you're netting, maybe 30%, or whatever. So you're saying that always floored you, or?
It didn't make sense to my logical brain that it's not what you think it is. And I think that goes to the next mistake of teams. Well, I would say instead of teams, that I think to me is team leads for the person starting the team or running the team, is it can't be emotional. It's an emotional hire. Oh, well, I hired this mom. She's a good friend of mine or whatever. I hired some agent who, some officer, super nice. I'm like, why don't, does it matter if they're nice or that they can do their job?
Yeah.
For my specialty, which was social media, marketing or internet lead generation or social media manager, whatever they wanted me to help them find, the person that they hired didn't have the qualifications. So if I said, okay, so some random person off the street wants to work for you and they have zero experience in doing what you want them to do,
but then you instantly giving them 50% of your profit.
Yeah, would you hire this person? Well, no. Okay, well then why the friend? Why is the friend?
Why do that on the team?
Why do that on the team?
That's a good point. I've even heard people say, well, my team is bigger than I wanted it to be, but somebody called me and was like, hey, I admire you. I really want to be on your team. So I'm going to take her under my wing. And it's like what you're saying is like, that's very sweet and all, but would you have done that with another corporation, taken somebody with zero experience and then paid them half your profits?
So
I like what you're saying. Take it out the fact that you're a realtor. Let's say that you started a restaurant or you started a doctor's office. Would you let somebody be in charge of all your clients that had zero experience, yet you're charging this high dollar? Probably not, but those emotional decisions about how they're paying people, giving them everything when they've proven nothing, having no standards. But then you also have the opposite. We're talking about team leads right now, but you have the opposite too, where this person does have experience and they are giving their everything and they are splitting all their commission and the team lead's bringing nothing to the table. So it can work both ways. But what I find is on both sides, people are rushing to the team concept because they think that's the answer. That's what they're seeing on stages all over the country. Oh, the top people are teams. Okay, but also you don't know that a lot of those people leave after they win their award crying. They're stressed out. They're profiting less than they ever did, even when they were by themselves,
I remember having so many conversations with team leads, and it'd be private, and they would be breaking down and really upset and crying, and they don't have relationships with their kids. But from the outside, they're like, hey, top of their game. They're getting awards. So I can't blame too much on agents who want to see a team because, again, that's all they're seeing on the stage. The team photos.
Well, and they're selling it as if you have a team, you have more freedom.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. That is true. But the team doesn't have to be 10 other agents.
Right.
The team can be 60% of what an agent does is admin, some type of administrative work.
Yep.
40% is actually sales, negotiation, lead generation. So if you could just take the concept of, if I could delegate 60% off my plate,
right,
well, then how many more sales could you do and still have vacations and still have freedom, and you're netting a whole lot more money. So you can have the freedom. We're all about balance and freedom. But bigger doesn't mean better. Leverage means better. And leverage does not have to be another licensed agent that you're giving up half your commission to. And that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. And that's the bottom line.
And that's the Car Chronicles of the day.